Hello.
Hi.
Oh, see, this is what always happens to me.
You need to click out of the filter.
Did we lose our... Yes? There we go. Oops. Yay! Did it! We're live in all the places, all at once.
There's pool shenanigans going on in the background.
Yeah. Pool shenanigans. Motorbike shenanigans, pool shenanigans. Okay, now let's get over to the...
Having two cameras is
I know, it's quite tricky, isn't it?
freaking me out.
It's quite tricky.
Hi everyone.
Hello, hello. Hi, 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 hi. Say hi as you're hopping on so that we know that you are here. Hello.
Oh, there's just so many of us right now.
We're everywhere, all at once.
Okay, got this. Just gonna put this cushion. So cute.
Why isn't it letting me tag you? Don't, oh, there we go.
Here I am.
Okay. Oh, wait. Oops. Hello, hello. Hi, Kala. Hi, Alicia. Hi, Ms. Let's see. Just one more place to the magical life, of course. Okay, here we are. We are here.
Yeah, we're here. Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
We are late because we had to eat.
Yes.
We were starving.
Yes, we were starving and we needed guava margaritas.
And then we ate pasta, so we were tired. So now we're drinking tea.
But here we are.
But we are here. We are officially here. Oh, wait. Wait. We're still talking over here. Okay. Hello, Daniel. So, last night I got a message asking about some... Well, first of all, I didn't do my Wealth Alchemy episode yesterday. Why? Oh, because Facebook was down. So Facebook was down yesterday. I was like, why didn't I do it? And so we didn't do the episode yesterday, and I had an episode planned, but we'll do that one later, next week sometime most likely, or maybe this weekend. But last night when Facebook came back up, I had a question about sex and money. So we figured we would, and Kathryn arrived last night from Perth.
Yes.
And so I was like, well, of course I should have Kathryn on an episode of Wealth Alchemy.
Of course.
And so then we decided to do this episode today, and I thought this is a perfect topic to do with Kathryn, and we can talk about sex, and we can talk about money, and we can talk about magic.
Of course, because they're all of our favorite things, really. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
So, you lead the way,
Something's
Leah.
bugging me.
Yes.
Okay. We're like smashed in Instagram, and then we have plenty of room in Facebook. And I don't know, we're probably not looking at either of you. Like, we're only looking here, we're only looking there. It's double live streaming is quite confusing.
It's very trippy. I don't know.
I was looking the other day and I was laughing because I was like, in my whole, Nardine was editing an IGTV video for me, and the entire video I was going like this. So like, picture you were looking at me on the screen, I was like this.
Oh.
Like I was talking to the other camera the whole time. Like I didn't. So now I'm trying to like do the.
Yeah, look at the camera. I mean, yeah, look at the camera, not the screen.
Yeah. Or look in between the cameras so it looks like we're looking at you.
So you just look, yeah.
Hi everyone.
Hi, Carrie.
Hello, hello. We look perfect. Of course we do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I have my gym clothes on. I'm convincing myself through the wearing of said gym clothes that I'm going to the gym today. That's what I decided.
Well, you are going to the
I
gym.
know, but when I don't feel motivated in the morning, I'm like, do you know how guilty I feel if I don't go to the gym and I wear my gym clothes all day?
Really?
It was my masculine this morning. He was like, my masculine was like, put the gym clothes on. And my feminine was like, I want to wear a cute dress. And the masculine was like, put the gym clothes on, Leah. Good. So here I am in the gym clothes. That was our lunch conversation today.
Thanks, Carla. We are cute.
About our masculine and our inner masculine and our inner feminine.
Oh, I'm so full of food. Okay. All right.
So, yes, there's lots of things going on. There's lots of background noise right now. Jack and Sean are in the pool, so I'm sure you're hearing some splashing and all the things in the background. Nick is requesting to be in our video, but we don't know him, so I don't think we're gonna let him in the video.
Hey, Bailey. Hey, Ryan.
Hey. Okay, well,
Should we
so
jump in?
yeah, I feel like first and foremost, I think, you know, something to talk about to just sort of like set the stage for this that was totally distracting to me. That's you, apparently. White.
Oh.
White is so cute.
Thank you.
Oh my god.
Are
Okay.
you talking about the color of my clothes or the color of my skin?
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
It could be either, right?
Could be
I could be
either.
brown and you could be white.
Yeah, okay. Cool.
Kazzy
Thank
said,
you so much.
Kayla. Okay, Kayla. Sorry we butchered your name. Kazzy says that white is cute. So we're not quite sure if he's talking about Kathryn's white skin or her white outfit. Listen, you guys, my tripod's still being a quitter, so I have to keep like moving it back. It's like slowly comes down and cuts our heads off. Okay, goodbye, Daniel in Sydney, Australia. Enjoy your work day. Okay, so money, sex and money. The first thing I want to talk about is how aligned those energetic vibrations are. So I don't know if you find this, but Kathryn and I are both spiral. I guess we should, for those of us that don't know us, for those of us that don't know us.
Do we know us?
I am Leah Steele, the Wealth Witch.
Yes.
This is Kathryn Rollins, who is responsible for all of my beautiful branding, by the way.
Yes.
My website,
The creative midwife is what I'm going with at the moment.
Kathryn Rollins, creative midwife and digital doula.
Yeah, I help people birth their ideas into reality. That's true.
Very well. It's amazing. So, we're both spiral practitioners also. And what I was going to ask you is, have you done a lot of wealth clears?
I've done a handful.
Okay. So one of the things that I find all the time is that sexual stuff comes up a lot in wealth clears.
Right.
Like sexual traumas, first sexual encounters. There's a the energy is really, really intertwined. And so when I'm clearing money stuff for people, sex stuff almost always comes up. And my belief in that is that the energetic vibrations, what's happening over here? Did I move oh, that was me. I did that with the tripod. Okay, sorry. The energetic vibrations, no, I just fucked that one up. Okay, listen.
Everything's fine.
The energetic vibrations of the two are really, really close. And it all seems to be very, very interwoven. in Napoleon Hill's book, have you read Think and Grow Rich?
No.
Okay, so there's a book that everyone on the planet really should read, and it's like one of the, I mean, it's like the old school wealth consciousness book. Like, this book is so old, from like the early 1900s.
Yeah.
And so Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, if you haven't read it, definitely read it. And it's funny because in that book, like, he has this little teeny, like, I think it's like one paragraph in the back of the book where he like talks about sex magic, and it's like this, like, if you were this much tired or you skimmed even like this much of the page, you would miss it. You would miss the mention of it altogether. But
It's just like a footnote.
yeah, but it's mentioned, right? So even he in the early 1900s made the correlation between sex and money. And so do I believe it's possible to make a lot of money and have stuck or blocked sexual energy? Yes, of course. Do I believe it's possible to have super, super free-flowing sexual energy and not be making a lot of money? Yes, I do. But at the same time, I think that when you have the two and they're working together, you have the ability to really have like an amazing positive flow of energy in the direction that you choose to go with money. And obviously, sex magic is really a thing, and wealth creation through sex magic is also definitely a thing.
For me, my experience is like, I mean, for me, sexual energy is everything. Like, if you can give and receive sexual energy, which is in essence like life force energy, that's what I learned, like doing a little bit of tantric studies, is like life force energy, sexual energy, creative energy is all the same. So if you're connected to the source of your sexual energy, then you're able to create more freely, to generate energy, and it makes sense that that would tie into like wealth creation and your ability to fully like give, receive, flow. Like, yeah, that all makes sense to me for sure.
Yeah. So, hey Andrea. Do I clear sexual trauma in order to unblock financial flow? So, I mean, that wouldn't be an intention of mine going into a wealth clearing session. However, frequently things around sexual trauma or sexual experiences will come up in the wealth clear that then, yes, we will clear. And it can have quite a powerful impact on that person being able to generate money. And I mean, look here, like when it comes down a lot to receiving stuff shows up a lot. So it's like if somebody's having difficulty receiving money and they've had sexual trauma, it's like in many ways, people who have sexual trauma, they will block down receiving in all ways. It's like, or they want to be in control of the receiving. And so that flow of and circulation of money can be blocked because they're not willing to just accept money in a free-flowing energy form.
Yeah.
So that's, you know, I will frequently, like when I'm testing people in their wealth clears, what will come up is that they have issues around receiving. And so then when we dive into the root clear around receiving, then often the sexual trauma will come up, or whatever the sexual experience is where they were either forced to be in a situation where they were receiving something they didn't want, or, you know, childhood abuse and things like that.
Yeah.
So, very common though, very common that sex and money stuff comes up in clearing. So, and everybody likes to talk about sex. Most people, and
Well,
I
not
mean,
everyone likes to talk about
yeah, I
sex,
guess not everyone,
but we do.
and I like to talk about money, so here we are. Here we are talking about sex and money. So yeah, let's start with the questions,
Okay.
and then for those of you that have questions, go ahead and put them in the comments, and we will answer your questions as well.
Yeah. So, the first question
Yes.
is, the norm is hubby works, wife stays home, or works a little, has babies, etc. My situation is way different. My soon-to-be hubby is Cuban, so clearly doesn't make as much as I do. How can I, as a business entrepreneur, build up my business and make it successful and make a shit ton of money because I'm a fucking badass and not make him feel bad or guilty for not making tons of money? I'm okay with making money, but I think I still have a story that says you should marry a rich man. Advice.
Yeah, so I'll answer this because I think it's like has been part of my story, right? Where, this, and then I feel like everything comes back to fucking conditioning, because it's like, as little girls, we are literally told a story, which is funny because the next question is actually about this, but we're literally told a story that a man is gonna come in on a white horse, save the day, sweep us off our feet, romance us, take care of us, and then we're gonna live happily ever after.
Yeah.
Like, nobody says to little girls, hey, by the way, this is a fairy tale and this isn't actually what's gonna happen to you. And so we are conditioned and raised with these beliefs that this is what's gonna happen. And then as we get older, obviously, we begin to realize that, like, most likely there's no white knight coming on a horse to save the day and to take care of us and, to live happily ever after. Like, relationships, I don't think are quite that easy.
I don't think it ever happens that way.
So, yeah, so totally natural, I think, to feel to still be holding on to that conditioning, because it's something that I think we were all sort of in that was installed. So the first thing I would say is, like, clear that shit, right? Like, just get rid of that, like, need to have that.
Yeah.
But for me, something really similar happened in my relationship, in my marriage, when my business became hugely successful. And then my husband and I, who had been sharing the financial responsibilities, things really shifted. And because my business completely took off, and we needed more help, like, with the duties that I was doing around the house with kids and all that. And then we moved to Bali, and now, there's just lots of logistics to manage. I took on the role of the primary breadwinner, and then my husband was taking care of logistics. And in many ways, like, for a while, he takes care of a lot more logistics in the business now, but for a while was more in this, like, Mr. Mom role, which was really difficult for both of us at first, I think. And I was actually saying to him, like, I really want to have him come on one of these episodes and we'll talk about our experience, and then he can share his side of the story as well, because I think that's important to understand the whole picture. But, for us, it took some adjusting to get over those, like, the gender roles, right? Like, what's supposed to be. And we still have to talk through it, and we still have to work through it, and we still, bump up against things that are triggering or, cause us to have different feelings and reactions about that scenario and about that situation. But I think it's a different day and age now. And I'm like, if you want to be the person that makes the money, go out and make the money. Also, you're not responsible for your partner's feelings.
Yeah.
So, for example, like, my husband does a ton of men's work, and it required a lot of men's work for him to work through his feelings around that. And those feelings weren't my responsibility. It wasn't my responsibility to make him feel better about me making money, right? So, I mean, that's a tricky one, because, from my perspective, I would be like, absolutely go out and make all the money that you want. Can your relationship work out and be successful that way? Absolutely. Does it take some creative thinking? Yeah, because it's not how we were conditioned, especially, like, with your husband or your significant other coming from Cuba. I mean, even more so in that, in those religious upbringings, in those, and I'm sure in that nationality, there's expectations about what women do and what men do. And so, yes, I think go out and make all the money that you desire to make, and work on it, and, continue to be understanding and talk through the issues. And
Yeah, I think if it were me, like, I definitely wouldn't sacrifice my dreams and, like, desire to do business for my partner. At the same time, I feel like it requires some willingness on the part of your partner to want to work through that. And if it's an issue for him, then that's something you're going to need to address, and you'll just have to see if he is able to work through that. Like, it's kind of down to that, huh?
yeah. Yeah. So, first question.
Yes.
What's next?
Okay. How has your husband contributed to your business or supported you in a masculine role? Is it possible to turn sides and make all the money you have ever wanted while the husband has been doing his same old thing all along?
Yeah, so we kind of just talked about that
Yeah.
a little bit, but so how does my husband contribute to my business? Well, he contributes to my business in a lot of ways. He handles a lot of the, he handles all the logistics of the family, so, and all of my travel. So any travel that I'm doing, any of those types of logistics, he handles all of that. He interfaces and interacts with our contractors and our employees. He handles all of the accounts receivable and payable, in addition to he and my assistant. But like all of our personal family, he handles all of our personal family finances. What else? And we're actually in the process of talking about having him take even more of an active, like more of a CEO role in the business. So he's very supportive. Like, I couldn't do this business without him. Like, as far as, you know, handling stuff with the kids, handling stuff with the villa, handling stuff with the house. We have, 5 house staff here that he manages everything with. So it really frees me up to do what I do best, which is the creating. I am a creator star mechanic in Wealth Dynamics, and he's actually a supporter.
Ideal.
So, yeah, so we have sort of the ideal situation there.
Yeah. I think one thing I just thought of was, like, the masculine likes to feel useful. So if your husband or partner or whatever doesn't feel like they have a role to play in helping things and you know, leading the way in things, then it's going to be harder for them to, like, be supportive of you and your business, because there's this kind of like, oh, I have nothing to contribute or like nothing to do, you know?
Yeah.
So that just made me
Yeah, I think that is important, to feel that you can contribute. And I think that's the times where Sean and I have struggled, is where I have been being too controlling, and I'm like, I can't let go of this, and then he doesn't feel like he's able to contribute, and then that causes problems.
Yeah, because if you're just like, this is my business and this is what I'm doing, and just like, get out of my life, then they're going to obviously like have a hard time with that. Whereas if you're like, well, actually, I love your help with this, or, you know, like having that sort of inclusive attitude is great. So the next question is, do you have an opinion on the Cinderella syndrome, i.e. girls wanting to grow up and marry princes and have babies fully depending on a man to fulfill her dreams? Well, I think it's bullshit as a starting point. I understand where it comes from. Like, we already sort of mentioned that. Like, I'm pretty sure most of the Disney movies I watched growing up had that storyline.
Yeah.
And I think some of the best work that I've done in my adult life has been around, like, developing my own inner man, inner woman, and the qualities that they have, in order to become more of a whole being, rather than being like this helpless feminine creature who needs a masculine man to come in and like save the day. But also that's been great work, because it helps me understand how I can play more feminine or more masculine and be in relationship with someone else and like have a dynamic, versus like, I don't need you. Like, that's the other extreme. It's like, I don't need a man, fuck off. Like, so I think it's something to look at, and I think it's definitely not the full picture. At the same time, there's nothing wrong with depending on other people and like having a partner who supports you. It's really up to you how much you rely, like maybe your husband does financially support you. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but I feel like it should be a choice rather than like an expectation.
Yeah, this is how it is. And I think it's true what you're saying. Like, I think, you know, in today's society, we more often find the fuck you, I don't need a man, I don't need anyone to help me, I can do it on my own, which really messes with the polarity between men and women. And so it sort of throws off just our natural polarity, having nothing to do with gender roles. But it's like when we get into that, like, no, I'm going to be in my masculine and I don't need you.
That's hard.
Yeah.
Like, I remember with my ex-partner, he and I had this argument once where basically I was being in my masculine, and I just was like, I don't need you. And he was having a bit of a meltdown because he was like just freaking out at me for being like shutting him out. And I was like, I don't need you. And it just messed with our dynamic because he wanted to be in the masculine role and support me, and I just wouldn't let it happen. Like, I didn't want to give up control, which is classic, like what you're saying. And learning how to be comfortable in receiving, like, from a man is really, like, I feel is really good for creating that feminine masculine polarity. But it doesn't mean you need to be hopeless. It's like a choice, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, I mean, the other side of it is that, you know, if that's your choice and if you want the Cinderella story, I mean, go create that for yourself.
Yeah.
You know, if that is actually the life that you desire to live, I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's a beautiful way to live if that's what you choose. For me, it's like, that's not what I chose. I love what I do. I love working. I want to, like, be contributing. I want to be out changing the world. And, you know, but some women's Cinderella story is that they do find a man to marry that supports them financially and their dream husband to have and raise children. And that's beautiful too. So
it's all valid. I think for me, it's like, I just want people to be empowered in their choice, like to not feel like they have to do one or the other.
Yeah. Yeah. And exactly. Let it be a choice, right?
Yeah. Not like enforced upon you. Okay. Next question is, I've heard it said that there is a correlation between being actively sexual and being in flow with money. A woman I knew years ago said she believed a particular married couple was struggling financially because the couple had long since stopped having sex. She advised the woman, who had no desire for her man, part of the issue was financial in fact, to give him sex as a means to get money flowing. Thoughts? That's deep.
Yeah. Well,
okay.
It's an intense question.
It is
right?
an intense question.
Because, one, I believe that sexual energy can help the flow of money. But here's the thing. I've had times in my life where I had a lot of sexual energy flowing and I was making no money. And I've had times in my life where I have had no sexual energy flowing and made shit tons of money. And I've had situations in my life where I've made shit tons of money and I've had lots of sexual energy flowing. So I don't know that they're mutually exclusive.
No, I don't think they're mutually exclusive.
And I think that, you know, when life is, I guess for me, it's like when life is in balance. So when everything is flowing well, when physical health is going well, like when physical health is going well, you're going to feel more sexual energy, right? And then so as you are successful and as you create excellence in one of the areas of your life, it's really important to create excellence in all of the areas of your life and not be settling for mediocrity in one area or a couple of areas, because it doesn't happen that, like, when we settle, it's like we actually drag those other things down. When we, you know, and so it's like, even though this thing's raising, it's like when you have these anchors of areas of your life where things are mediocre, you're not able to progress to the level that you like really deeply desire to go to. So for me, it's like create balance in all the areas
Yeah.
of life.
Yeah. I also was thinking about it, and I was like, as you said, like, I don't think they're mutually exclusive, because you can fully make money and not be sexual. But I think you can use cultivating sexual energy as a way to increase, especially as a woman, I'm just gonna say, to increase your radiance and to increase like your creative energy and your life force energy. And there have been times in my life where I've been doing like a lot of like cultivating of sexual energy through like erotic dance and through like self-pleasure and consciously like building up that life force, and I am just way more radiant. Like I'm literally, it feels like energetically I'm like pulling people in, and so naturally they want to like pay me. But if I didn't have, you know, if I didn't have a decent business and some ability to, you know, actually sell
receive
stuff,
the money, take the
then
money, sell
it
stuff.
would, you know, I'd just be radiant and be like, I don't know. Like people would have no way to give me money unless I asked them. They'd just be like, "You're radiant." I'd be like, "Yes." That would be as far as it would go.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
but you can use it to your advantage.
Yes,
is what I'm saying.
absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that like judging what's happening in other people's relationships or in other people's lives, like this couple, it's like that's just a
I don't know.
can
I don't
of
think you should
worms.
ever force yourself to have sex with someone to create money. That feels
yes,
really
no,
weird.
you should definitely not do that. And
Yeah, don't. I don't know. That's
you
fucked.
should definitely not do that. And also, I feel like, you know, hard to pass judgment on what's happening in somebody's relationship or
who
with their
knows?
finances when you're not actually in that relationship or know what's happening with their finances. So,
Yeah, it's. I don't think it's cure-all.
yeah.
Like, you just can't. You can't just, unless you're a prostitute, then probably having sex will make you money.
What about if I had a very high sex drive and the midlife hormones, my sex drive completely went away, still gone, I don't miss it at all because I don't feel any sex drive. I've wondered about this. Well, I mean, it's interesting because I'm actually going through something really similar to that right now in my life, because I had a baby at 39 and then I nursed for 3.5 years, and after and then I lost a business during that time, had massive amounts of stress, started a business, and was in complete adrenal fatigue, right? With like absolutely no libido. And I'm still working on trying to figure out my hormone levels and all of that stuff. And I have a thyroid condition, which adds to it, you know? So the midlife thing is very real. You know, I'm not premenopausal yet, but you know, I think this is an issue for many women. And it's like, you know, again, I don't believe that like you have to have sexual energy to make money. I don't believe that that's true. There are lots of people out there that don't have high sex drives and make plenty of money.
Yeah.
Now for me, it's like I'm married, obviously, and I desire that. Like I desire to have that corrected, and so it's something that like I'm working on and like trying to get to the bottom of, and it's certainly getting better. Like the more time is between me and the nursing, and the more time, you know, my body has to like actually re-regulate itself. But I don't think, you know, I mean, only you can know for yourself, but I wouldn't be worried that you're not going to be able to make money if you have no libido or no sex drive. But I would say, like, you know, I think it's very easy to get into the pattern of like not being like, I don't want sex, I don't need sex, when you're not feeling it, and that's actually not true. And so is it worth it to go begin to have hormones looked at, or look at bioidentical hormones, or look at, you know, what's out of balance to try to get things back into balance? Because obviously that can be a very fulfilling part of your life.
Yeah. I also feel like just on a, you know, I feel like sex is often framed as, you know, having sex with other people. I think, like, if you have no sex drive, you can still create, I really believe in, like, the tantric philosophy around, like, creating sexual energy in the body, and that being, like, a way to bring vitality to your body, even if you're not actively choosing to have sex with other people. So I do feel like there's benefit in, you know, looking at how you can create sexual energy in your body, because it's not something that you, like, sex drive is great, but you can create sexual energy anytime you want, even if you're not feeling sexual. It's like, you can do things to create sexual energy in the body. Use that in whatever way you want. And it can also just be really good for your, like, just good for your vitality in general. So just because you don't feel it doesn't mean it's not there and you can't, like, fan the flames of it if you want to, you know, just as a side note.
Yes.
Is that all the questions?
Yeah, I think that's all the questions. Does anybody on have questions?
Yeah.
That's what I was wondering, is looking at how to create more of that life force energy.
There's some really beautiful, like, there's some really beautiful ways to learn that. Depending on where you're located in the world.
We're in Bali right now.
Oh. Well,
but she's going back to Canada? Yeah, she's going back to Canada soon.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many things. You should do our course, The Magic of Erotic Dance. If you're into that. Like, we definitely explore that in our course. If you want to dance with us.
Yeah, so if you have questions, go ahead and type them in the comments either on Instagram or Facebook.
Yeah.
You know, I think that making money to me doesn't need to be, you know, I think people have this feeling of like, it has to be boring, or it has to be dull, or it has to be hard, or it has to be, and like, I think a lot of people have an idea of making money, and it's like, it's not sexy. Like, in their mind, it's like making money is not sexy. Or some people have oversexed view of making money, right? Like, but I mean, in lots of different ways. Like, I totally am like picturing Leonardo DiCaprio in Wolf of Wall Street. You know what I mean? Where he's just like all the money and like all of the. And so I think like we put these negative connotations on making money, whether it's like, you know, one side is like it's boring as fuck, and then the other side is like you just become a glutton and you're like, you know. And so it's like, no, it doesn't have to be that way. Like for me, should I wake up my husband or make money? Love them both. Can do both at the same time, actually, which is you can be
make
calling
money.
in the money and
make love at the same time.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, like for me, that energy, like when I'm feeling like particularly attractive or when I'm feeling really sexy, and it's like that it is that energy to me. Like that is the energy I feel when I'm making money, or when I get excited about making money. It feels very much like that life force energy or that excitement, and that Kathryn will drop her link to the Magic of Erotic Dance in the
Come and
comment
join
section.
us. We're starting again in May.
So, you know, to me, it's exciting. Like, I love making money. I love seeing people make money. I love it when my friends make money. I'm all about it. Because it enables us to support so many things. I mean, it's like, here's a perfect example. It's like if you're making money and you're struggling in some way in your, with your sexuality or with your hormones or with whatever, it's like having the resources to be able to go and take Kathryn's course or go see a doctor, or, you know, I mean, it's like money is a really important part of society, and we can either like be resentful of it and want to reject it and not want to make it a part of our life, or we can be like, no, making money is awesome.
And I think like one thing that sex and money both have in common is that they can be very taboo topics, and it's because they're both so potent, and they are like, when I feel my best, it's like I'm in flow with money, like I'm making money easily and I'm happy to spend money, and there's just this like cyclical flow. And when I'm feeling my best, I'm also like sexually open to receive and also sexually giving out, but also very just, I don't know, it just feels like a healthy flow of both energies.
Yeah, circulation.
Yeah. I'm not stuck on anything in either area.
since I've started stepping into my spirituality and purpose and soul practices and claiming my power, my other half doesn't get it because he still isn't stepping into connecting with his own soul and discovering his own purpose. I know he has to come to it all on his own, but in the same moment, his energy towards me and not getting where I'm coming from and getting it can be draining on us. And I see his potential, but he just doesn't get it. But how do I get over this and improve my own energy without feeling the need to move him into his own soul connection with himself? Yeah, so I mean, this is hard, obviously, because it's like we don't often when we're in partnership or we're in relationship with other people, they're not, our spiritual awakenings and journeys are not on the same path. Like, most of the time, that's not the case. We're growing at different rates. We're expanding at different rates. And so for me, what I do in my marriage anyways, I really try not to have expectations of where my husband's going to be at with any particular thing. Like, for me, it's focusing on my own journey and where I am, and then like what I need to do in my journey to be the best version of me. And, you know, obviously I'm really lucky because I have a partner who is on a spiritual journey of his own, but we're always at different places. We're never at the same place. And so for me, it's about, you know, trying my very best to remain judgment-free, trying not to get him to do what I'm doing because normally his interests are very different than what mine are. Realizing that he probably doesn't always want to talk about where I am in my spiritual journey or what's going on with me. It's like why I have friends, right? That I can talk to about it. But yeah, being understanding of where each other is, not having expectations and trying to really stay judgment free, I think has been the thing that's worked the best for me.
Yeah. And I mean, like, in the training that I've done around, you know, men and women and understanding men more, you know, it's like, if it's really hard for men to go anywhere if they feel like they're failing you in some way, it'll make them more resentful and resistant. But what you can do sometimes to inspire is to like invite support through, how to explain this, like, I don't even know, I'm gonna leave that one, it's not fully formed.
Is there a way to get information on tantric sex replacement or something so very sexy that your man is drooling even if she can't perform?
What do you mean by that?
Yeah, I'm not sure about what you mean by that either. Can you clarify?
Alicia, please.
Yeah, Alicia, will you clarify your question? It feels so very amazing to be making so much cash and contributing. Okay, that's awesome. I'm not sure, but we're not sure what your question was. We're confused. I got bit on the toe by a mosquito today, and it's just really bad. Yeah, and I don't like it. So, anything else you want to add about your journey in with sex and money? Let's see. She said, I got my uterus taken out, but still have my hormones. So apparently I have PMS without cycling. So which one of you is the alpha that I am following?
Neither of us
are alpha.
Alpha's not here.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, I don't really.
Oh, I know what she's saying. No, she's saying her uterus has been taken out, but she still has hormones, so she has PMS without cycling. So which one of you is the alpha female? Like how everyone follows.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
Oh. Well, we're both bleeding right now, so it's probably both of us.
We're we're on the same cycle.
We're on the same cycle, so no telling. Could be any of us.
Okay. But I need to know what you want. What's your desired outcome, Alicia? Because I can't answer your question.
Yeah.
Is there anything else I want to add about sex and money? I mean, for me, I really subscribe to like a feminine way of attracting business. So it's important to me, and it's a key part of my lifestyle, to be constantly creating sexual energy, working on my radiance, drawing people in through attracting them, versus like chasing down customers. So for me personally, it's very beneficial to tie sex and money together and use my sexual energy and my like life force and my like, you know, energetic vortex to like call things to me. It's not for everyone, but for me it works really well. So if that's something that appeals to you, then that's definitely something you can do.
So I can do sex magic without a different man. Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
You can do sex magic on your own, mate.
Yeah.
Just, you know.
If you're in the group The Magical Life, go in there and ask about the sex magic. I'm
There's-
sure many women would be willing to talk to you about the sex magic.
There's so much.
Yeah.
We love sex magic around here.
And look, it's like we're talking about attraction in all of this stuff, right? Magic is about attraction, attracting energy, circulating energy. Money is about attracting money, circulating energy. Sex is about attracting energy, circulating energy,
Yes.
right? So all of these things really like intertwine and go together. Any book recommendations about tantric, wherever it is? Any book recommendations?
I can't think of anything
not
off
my
the top
thing.
of my head. But if I do, I'll comment because I can't think right now. But yeah.
Yeah, so I feel we were a bit flat today, but I think it's because we ate pasta for lunch and had a margarita.
Look, I can't think. But you should all come do the magic of erotic dance if you're women. That is all about like sexual energy and manifestation. So it's very much aligned.
Yeah. And if you're loving these topics and you're loving all of this stuff that we're discussing on these episodes, the Wealth Alchemy Mastermind has just launched. First content is happening this weekend in there. It's a monthly membership group, $111 a month. You can cancel anytime if it's not suiting you. But I'm really excited about it because all of this stuff, and we're going to be going in and doing more deep dives into certain topics that we've been discussing on these episodes. And in addition to that, going to be doing monthly group clearing sessions around money, wealth, receiving, abundance, prosperity inside the mastermind, which is really those group calls that I do are like the real magic of the work that I do. So super excited about that. Join us in there for sure. That's it. That's all I have.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for joining us. I guess I should drop the link.
Let's all drop the link.
Let's drop all the links. Drop it like it's hot.
I don't know how to turn the sound off.
Just turn your volume down. Okay, let's see. I will get you the link for the membership group. There it is. Wealth Alchemy Mastermind. The group has been created today. You can hop in there anytime. Happy birthday, Nicole.
Sorry.
There is still a message coming through. There's still a message coming through? There's still a message coming through me? It's possible. There's something else I'm supposed to be saying? Is that what you're saying? Still a message coming through. There's the link for the Wealth Alchemy Mastermind. Right here, Anya said there is still a message coming through. What message? Sometimes when people say that, I'm like, is there a message? Is there still something supposed to be coming from me? Through me?
Oh, through you, a message.
like-
Oh, okay. I thought she was saying like a message.
Maybe she was. I don't know. But when she asked that, I was like, oh, is there something else that needs
Is
to
there
drop
a
in?
message coming?
It was flat. Yeah, I was saying it was flat. It has felt flat. But there is. Maybe there is. You're right. I shouldn't give up so easily. I'm not a quitter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Am I
Let's
meant to
drop
be-
in and see what's going on.
I'm gonna leave you to it
Okay.
because I've got to go do some things.
All right. Go do some things.
See you later.
All right.
Bye, everyone.
All right. Kathryn's leaving. And then I'm going to sit here
And wait for
and let the
message.
message drop through. What's the message? Let's see. Well, I do know this. I wrote a blog. I've been writing a blog. I started it yesterday. I need to finish it today. It's 3.5 pages. I think that it is the most potent piece of writing that I've ever produced. And I'm really excited to finish it and get it out to you guys so that you can see. I had a really epic meditation yesterday, and it was all around really dropping into my purpose, and my purpose around, you know, stepping into this wealth alchemy part of my life and my purpose, and into, you know, fully owning the wealth witch. And, you know, I think that for me, there's so much fear around money. There's so much fear around making money. There's so much fear around, is something bad going to happen to us if we really fully go after our desires, and if we really like go full force towards the things that we want? Is it greedy? Is it bad? Does it make us a bad person to desire, to want? And that is in large part what this blog is about. And so I guess I just will leave you with saying that I think it's really important for all of us to begin to realize that we deserve simply because we are. One of the things that I talk about in the blog is that, you know, I am the divine. I am the divine. I am of the divine. And so if I have a desire, that desire is of the divine. And I get to be supported in realizing my dreams simply because I am. So don't be afraid to dream big. Don't be afraid, and don't be afraid of money. Money can really, really be this amazing tool and resource that can help you and can help so many people around you. And, you know, all of what we were talking about today on this live stream has to do with programming, right? All of the stuff that we were discussing was around programming. And so I think it's really important that we begin to look at how is our programming playing out in our day-to-day lives? How is our programming playing out in our inability to make the type of money that we want to make, to support ourselves in the way that we want to support ourselves, and to just realize that it is a choice to stop continuing to buy into that programming and to shift that and to change that. And so for me, that's what, you know, this trio of wealth alchemy programs is about, from Ouroboros to Mastering Your Spiritual Money Game to the Wealth Alchemy Mastermind. It's about taking our power back. It's about realizing that we have the ability to create the life we deeply desire. And I want that for all of you. I want that for me, and I want that for all of you. And yeah, so I would love to have you join me in the Wealth Alchemy Mastermind. I'm really excited about the content this weekend, and I most likely will do a clearing session for the members that are early into the group this weekend. So if you know you're already feeling called, jump in now so that you can be a part of that session. March is not over. Like, we still have half the month. So jump into the mastermind now and then crush your financial goals for March. That's really my intention, is to get people in there, really start making money ASAP through the power of belief, intention, and clearing and deprogramming. So if you're watching on Instagram and you're watching the replay and you're interested in the Wealth Alchemy Mastermind, private message me and I will send you the link. There is no lead page as of yet. This thing just launched this week. And if you're on Facebook, you have the link there. Yeah, I think that's it. So have an amazing day, morning, evening, wherever you are in the world as you are watching this live stream or you are watching the replay. And happy birthday to Nicole.